And now let us pause for a minute for a look into the future by Dr. John A. Hutchison, Vice President of Westinghouse.
Hello. I've said many times the Westinghouse refrigerator is a pretty wonderful machine just as it stands. But you know how research men are. They are never satisfied with anything. So, out at the new Westinghouse Research Center, which will be dedicated next month, scientists are planning the refrigerator of the future to operate on an entirely new scientific principle. All they had to go on was the fact that when you run a current of electricity through this amazing little device, it gets cold instead of hot. From that start, they expect to develop a refrigerator with no machinery. Just to show you what that would mean, here is the mechanical equipment that runs your present very efficient refrigerator. And by contrast, this device, we hope, will run the refrigerator of the future. There would be a series of these, but nothing moves, nothing wears, no sound is made. Just an electric current running through little bars like this, turning water into ice. It isn't entirely practical yet, but the research men have proved that it works. See, they have made this little pellet of ice merely by running a current through this bar. It isn't economical now. You'd need much more cooling power than this. But someday we may be showing you a refrigerator operated with units like this. And these little metal bars may revolutionize our ideas about air conditioning and give us smaller, more adaptable units.
This is the kind of thing we mean when we say, watch Westinghouse, where big things are happening in research.
Down on the convention floor, Bill Leonard has been with the New York delegation, which was one of the leaders of this civil rights fight, and they lost that fight. Bill, how do they feel about it down there?
Well, they're not down here, Walter, to feel about it. But
you're a lonely-looking character down there, as a matter of fact, Bill.
Well, 5 minutes after the New York delegation realized it had lost the fight, Walter, I was the only representative from New York in that big area. I've moved slightly over into the Texas delegation, or what was once the Texas delegation, to say hello to you here. But I must say that one of the saddest sights I've ever seen at a political convention was the face of Senator Lehman as he realized that the fight was over and that he had lost. He had summoned up all of his veteran energies for this fight. He was scurrying around the floor and walking around, buttonholing delegates and doing the very best that he could. I asked him immediately afterwards how he felt, and he said, "I think I'll go home." And I said, "Well, Senator, does that mean you won't be back tomorrow?" And he conjured up a sort of a wan smile and said, "No, I'll be back. Yes, I'll be back. But I feel..." Well, and then he stopped. Then I turned to Carmine DeSapio and I asked him how he felt, whether there was any point in continuing the fight, and he said, "What is there left to do? We did all we could." He was bitter that he couldn't get a live microphone to demand a roll call. He said it was all done up there at the chair, but it's over now. And then he, too, left until in a very few minutes, long before the call for adjournment, the New York delegation was just empty seats. They're disappointed. Some members of the delegation rather feel that there are other things in the platform that are strong enough so that they're really not bitter. One person put it this way, Walter, in conclusion, we're not bitter about it, we're just disappointed, bitterly disappointed. Now, back to Walter at the booth. Anything else?
Yeah, Bill?
Yeah.
We had a report just a moment ago from the Associated Press that Frank McKinney, who you know has been one of the strong backers of Averell Harriman's campaign for the presidency, has conceded tonight. We just had word that the Harriman headquarters as such are not conceding anything regarding that presidential nomination. I'm wondering if you heard anything from Carmine DeSapio about how he looks upon the situation now.
Yes, I did. Not in the last 15 minutes, but I was with Mr. DeSapio constantly throughout the evening, and I suppose I asked him that question 4 or 5 times. I quoted him rumors to that effect, and he said, "No, we're not giving up. Anything can happen. No, we're not giving up." I must say that at the very end of the evening, as they left, I had the definite impression that it was mostly lip service, but there was certainly no concession of defeat insofar as the Harriman situation is concerned down there. They were very disappointed and upset and apparently sincerely did not know what Mr. Truman was going to say when he got up there, and that was an added blow to them.